There's a way to interact with men that can not only break down all communication barriers, but also ignite such a strong attraction in their hearts that it spirals out of control, making you an indispensable part of their lives. This approach is far from simple tricks and empty manipulations. It's rooted in a deep understanding of the fundamental principles of male psychology. These are the same principles Carl Jung studied to help us establish a solid connection that goes beyond superficial relationships. By understanding the archetypes that drive a man's behavior, you become someone he can't ignore. A man may not even realize what's happening, but he'll feel an inexplicable pull towards you. Many women mistakenly believe that men fall in love solely because of looks or eloquence. In reality, they fall in love because of the feelings you evoke in them. Jung emphasized the power of the unconscious and how certain stimuli can awaken desires so deeply hidden that even the man himself can't explain them. By using the right words, gestures, and energy, you awaken an attachment instinct in him that he won't be able to resist. The key to success lies in how you express yourself, how you present your presence, and the subtle but powerful influence your words have on his inner world. However, it's worth noting that many women, in their eagerness to win a man's attention, make a common mistake without realizing its consequences. They mistakenly believe that to achieve their goal, they need to impress, convince him of their worth, or prove it. But as practice shows, this approach often leads to the opposite result, turning a woman into just another face in the crowd. The real secret to attraction, capable of causing a man to form a strong attachment, lies in creating an atmosphere of mystery, unpredictability, and emotional excitement. As the famous psychologist Carl Jung noted, male attention is constantly drawn to the unknown, to what cannot be fully understood or solved. This principle underlies the strategy that allows you to activate a man's desire in such a way that he obsessively thinks about the woman. Imagine a situation where a man who previously showed indifference suddenly begins to notice every word, every facial expression, and every silence of a woman. He feels something new and inexplicable, which evokes strong emotions in him. At the same time, the woman doesn't chase him, beg him, or try to win his favor. On the contrary, the man feels that he must make an effort to earn her attention. This is the secret of women who possess natural magnetism and are capable of captivating men. The key to success lies in a special manner of communication, in the tone of voice, in the intention, and in the subtlety of the words used. For those who aspire to grasp the art of communication, capable of awakening the deepest attachment and attraction in a man, it's worth paying attention to the following narrative. We will talk about the ability to touch the innermost strings of his soul, even if he himself is not aware of their existence, and about turning every conversation into a fascinating psychological game that will take over his thoughts. According to psychologists, the male mind is influenced by hidden forces, often incomprehensible to the man himself. Carl Jung argued that humanity is governed by a collective unconscious, a vast area where archetypes manifest, determining our feelings, aspirations, and decisions. One of the most powerful archetypes in male psychology is the hero archetype. A man craves a sense of victory, overcoming obstacles and achieving a goal. This is often overlooked by many women. If a woman immediately opens up completely, depriving the man of the opportunity to conquer, there is a violation of the natural course of the male psyche. The man's interest fades because his mind doesn't receive the stimulus to fight for the woman's attention. However, by mastering the art of emotional communication and learning to touch the hero archetype, a woman awakens something deep within the man. She becomes a mystery to him that he wants to solve, a secret that he needs to comprehend. It's not about manipulation or playing mind games, but about a deep understanding of the principles of how the male psyche works. Jung explained that the unconscious is activated through symbols and images, and the biggest mistake a woman can make is to become predictable and devoid of mystery. In a relationship with a man, predictability can be a destructive force, depriving the union of novelty and emotional nourishment. If every word of the partner is expected, and there is no element of surprise in communication, the man's interest fades due to a lack of emotional stimuli. However, there is an elegant way to awaken an irresistible attraction in a man, using only the power of words. The secret lies in the art of conversation, in the ability to place strategic pauses, in the play of words, and, most importantly, in creating the feeling that there is always an unsolved mystery in a woman. An enveloping timbre of voice, a slight understatement in statements, all this activates triggers in a man's subconscious that attach him to a woman on an emotional level. A charming manner of speech, combining softness and confidence, maintains an atmosphere of mystery that intrigues and beckons. The feeling that a woman never belongs to a man completely, that there is always something else in her to be learned, occupies his thoughts, even in her absence. A man is captivated by the feeling that he does not receive all the answers at once, that there is an emotional space between him and the woman that he seeks to fill. This is the secret of emotional attraction, which, unfortunately, few women possess. Mystery is not just a trick, but an inner essence that permeates every word, every gesture, and every glance. Many women striving for emotional intimacy make the mistake of bombarding a man with questions and showing excessive interest in his life. However, paradoxically, it is restraint and understatement that can hold a man's attention. A man is attracted to the need to make an effort to earn a woman's attention, to achieve her time and energy. When a woman is confident in herself and does not constantly seek to prove her worth, she awakens in a man a primal desire for conquest. This is a subtle but powerful change in the dynamics of relationships. There is no need to resort to any tricks to maintain his interest. When a woman does not try to impress, does not seek approval, it only increases a man's attraction. The secret lies in maintaining a balance between closeness and distance, between openness and mystery. A man does not want everything to be too easy for him, for relationships to be predictable. He is motivated by challenge, the feeling that there is always something new to discover and conquer. True connection arises when a woman demonstrates that she has her own life, her own interests, independent of the man, but she prefers to share them with him. This evokes deep admiration in a man and a desire to be near. It's not that he needs a woman to feel complete, but that he sees in her a unique personality that brings value to his life. This is what allows him to maintain his interest and prevents the woman from becoming just one of many options. There comes a culminating moment when the art of communication is able to captivate a man's heart, even if the object of adoration is not aware of what is happening. Minor adjustments in speech patterns can radically change a man's perception of a woman and his emotional state in her presence. This is not about manipulation or mind games, but about a deep understanding of male instincts and their reaction to emotional stimuli coming from the chosen one. The use of strategic pauses, when silence between words becomes more eloquent than the words themselves, opens a hidden door to his subconscious, making thoughts of her haunt him constantly. The male mind, like a sponge, absorbs hints and suggestions. By giving him the opportunity to think for himself, maintaining intrigue and understatement, a woman activates his imagination, forcing his mind to work tirelessly to unravel what is happening. This approach not only rivets his attention, but also establishes a deep emotional connection that a man is not always able to explain rationally, but which makes him feel incredibly attractive in the eyes of this woman. The choice of words, the rhythm of speech, the manner of self-expression, all these elements together form his perception of her presence and create a unique emotional atmosphere. Interaction with him turns into a fascinating psychological drama, where every silence, every statement, and every gesture become instruments of influence, keeping his attention in the field of your attraction. The power of this impact lies in the absence of intrusiveness or excessive pressure. You evoke his interest spontaneously without resorting to obvious manipulations. It is enough to avoid predictability, maintain an aura of mystery, and stimulate him emotionally so that his attention remains inextricably linked to you. The male consciousness, like a magnet, unmistakably captures signals of novelty and mystery. Instead of striving for the position of the most accessible option or trying to impress, turn yourself into an object that requires conquest. Let him feel that your time and disposition are a valuable resource that is not given easily. This is the main condition for him to remain intrigued and emotionally involved, even without realizing the underlying reasons for his attraction. Despite the established notion of its rationality, the male intellect is subject to a powerful influence of deep emotions, often hidden from awareness. As Jung argued, unconscious forces guide our actions, and a man's attraction to a woman is not always rationally explicable. A man's emotional attraction to a woman is determined not only by her words and actions, but also by the feelings she evokes in him, a sense of his own importance in her presence. An emotional dialogue can activate responses in his subconscious, making him see in the woman something necessary, vital to his existence. One of the most significant aspects that a man seeks in a woman is the anima archetype, as defined by Jung, an unconscious representation of femininity living in the male psyche. This archetype is shaped not only by a woman's appearance or character, but also by a special energy, a certain elusive aura that she exudes. When a woman naturally comes into contact with this archetype, a man cannot help but feel attraction. However, this is not achieved artificially. It's not a trick or a superficial game. It is a genuine connection that arises when a woman is able to transmit this energy in an authentic and harmonious way. Herein lies a common misconception that many women fall into. They believe that in order to establish a close connection and intimacy, it is necessary to immediately reveal all the cards, demonstrating complete openness and transparency of their nature. However, as practice shows, true attraction in a man is awakened by a woman's ability to remain a mystery, giving him the opportunity to discover facets of her personality himself. A moderate demonstration of vulnerability shown at the right moment can be a powerful tool for rapprochement, but it should not be abused, turning it into an end in itself. Mystery, on the other hand, should be an integral part of communication. An intriguing manner of speech, the ability not to lay out all thoughts and feelings at once, creates in a man the excitement of a researcher seeking to unravel the secrets of the female soul. This awakens in his subconscious an unquenchable desire to learn more and more about her. The main secret lies in the ability to leave something unsaid, to make meaningful pauses before answering, to avoid predictability. This manner of communication activates the emotional sphere of a man, fuels his interest, and makes him strive for more. As a result, the attraction he experiences becomes not just a superficial infatuation, but is deeply rooted in his mind, turning into something significant and essential. The art of establishing a strong connection lies not in the impeccable selection of words, but in their skillful application, in the manner of their pronunciation, in the intonations of the voice, in the rhythm of speech, and in strategically verified pauses. All these elements together have a decisive influence on how a man perceives the presence of a woman. When she speaks softly, but with confidence, when her voice exudes both mystery and conviction, when every word carries a certain purpose, a man cannot help but feel attracted to her. This communication style is not just a set of techniques. It is rather a way of life, a way of interacting with the world that transmits a special energy that envelops the interlocutor. Men are attracted not only to the content of words, but also to the sensations they experience being around such a woman, and how she communicates plays a key role in shaping these sensations. By expressing herself with a combination of vulnerability and mystery, a woman offers a man a unique emotional experience that he finds difficult to find in others. The main thing is to find a balance between openness and maintaining a certain emotional independence. When a man realizes that a woman does not need his approval to feel full of life, that she has a rich and interesting life, it awakens in him deep admiration, a desire to be with someone who does not just need him, but chooses him. It is at this moment that a man feels a challenge to win her time, attention, and closeness, and he does it not by coercion, but because the woman has subtly made it clear to him that he has something to conquer. A man is attracted to what he has to achieve. In conclusion, the decisive aspect is to turn your presence into something significant for a man, something that he will strive to acquire again and again. The male mind, despite its seeming focus, is deeply susceptible to emotional stimuli. As Jung argued, human behavior is determined by archetypes, and one of the most powerful guiding a man is the hero archetype. He needs to feel himself facing difficulties, to feel that he is winning, that he has a mission that moves him forward. This need for conquest, to be the hero of his own story, goes beyond the professional sphere and penetrates into the realm of interpersonal relationships. When a woman enters a man's life and becomes part of his challenge, she takes on fundamental importance. However, this is where many make a mistake. Instead of allowing a man to feel the need to conquer, many women fall into the trap of giving themselves away too easily. By providing him with everything at once, without requiring effort, giving their attention and energy without going through a conquest process, they are deprived of mystery and desire. A man needs to feel that he has something to fight for, something to conquer. In a relationship with a man, it is crucial to cultivate emotional independence, avoiding the impression of complete availability. Masculine attraction flourishes when he realizes the need to earn a woman's attention, when he is constantly aware of unpredictability and the impossibility of anticipating her next move. It is this uncertainty that captivates his mind, forcing him to constantly seek new facets in her personality and constantly discover uncharted horizons. This dynamic not only awakens a deep desire in him, but also lays the foundation for a relationship based on mutual respect and admiration. When a man feels that a woman is self-sufficient and does not need him to feel complete in life, when she has her own interests and hobbies, but she still chooses to share her time with him, he begins to see her not just as a companion, but as a person who challenges him and stimulates him to self-improvement. Ultimately, men are not looking for someone to solve all their problems, but someone who will inspire them to new achievements and help them unlock their potential. It is this kind of woman who becomes a source of motivation for them and gives the relationship a deep meaning. The real secret to a man's lasting infatuation lies not in simple comfort, but in an exciting joint journey full of surprises, vivid experiences, and mutual development. It's about a genuine connection that transcends superficial conversations and empty promises. Genuine influence on a man is not exerted by skillful manipulation or total control, but by the ability to encourage him to rethink his own self in your presence. The well-known psychologist Carl Jung argued that our projections, those unconscious ideas that we project onto others, play a defining role in shaping relationships. A man is attracted to a woman not only because of her external qualities, but also because of the feelings he experiences next to her. If in your company he feels a surge of strength, self-confidence and delight, he involuntarily begins to associate these emotions with you, forming an unbreakable subconscious connection. This attraction is based not on spoken words but on experienced feelings. This is a connection that goes beyond logical thinking and rationality. Words are certainly important, but the real impact is made by emotions and the energy you radiate. This energy stems from a deep understanding of what awakens a man's innermost instincts. The ability to capture a man's attention opens up limitless horizons in relationships, where every date becomes a journey into the unknown, and communication becomes a source of new knowledge. It is important to understand that interaction is not just an exchange of information, but a complex dance of emotions, where mystery and revelation intertwine in a fascinating rhythm. Every gesture, fleeting glance, intonation of voice is capable of awakening a deep emotional response in a man. Skillful mastery of these elements allows you to maintain an unwavering interest, surprising with new facets of your personality and becoming truly unforgettable. Masculine attraction is rooted not in the desire to possess, but in the constant pursuit of knowledge. Uncertainty, challenge, incomprehensibility. This is what attracts men, forcing them to strive for conquest. This is the secret to holding a man's attention, turning into an indispensable part of his life. A woman who can challenge his intellect and evoke emotional involvement remains in his memory forever. Having mastered the art of emotional communication and comprehended the deep desires of a man, there is no need for coercion. He will be drawn to her, fascinated by the invisible connection that ignites desire and draws him back again and again. True influence comes not from words, but from the energy that a woman radiates, from the feelings she awakens in a man while being with him.